Well, good morning, YouTube. This is your Daily Stoic with your host, Jeffrey. It's still technically March 1st in McCabe. It's like 2 o'clock in the morning. Just left karaoke with my cousin Philly. Man, that's me and Big Philly been doing karaoke since we were kids, like teenage. Like his parents always did karaoke, so we did karaoke. We always sing together, and I rap and he sing. We at the beach doing that up north at the trailer. At the mall, Philly used to sing at the mall. And then, we started going to a karaoke bar in Quigley Road. It was called Colby's back then. I think I was getting in there when I was like 17. So pretty nostalgic, something we like to do. So it was good to get out for the night. Makes me think, in rehab, I kept saying we should try to do sober karaoke. Like if you can do karaoke sober, it's quite the feat. So happy to say I'm still sober. And I went to karaoke. But it's like 2 in the morning. But I didn't want to miss it because it's March 1st, a new month. We got a new theme. As always, reading the Daily Stoic 366 Meditations on Wisdom, Perseverance, and the Art of Living. I might have to do a double because I don't want to miss the leap year. We'll leave the leap year for 4 years from now. I'll come back and read it for you guys. Or should I read it? No, we'll just go to March 1st. Maybe I'll sneak it in another time. I'm tired. I want to go to bed. March is awareness. That is the theme for this month for the Stoic. So it's a daily reader. Obviously, if you're new here, you wouldn't know that. It's a daily reader, and then each month seems to they try to put a theme into it. So let's see what March 1st has in store for us. Super cold here in Southern Ontario. I know I'm not a weatherman, but I'm just saying, but it's supposed to warm up. Spring is in the air is what I was trying to get to. My apologies. I see, you know what's funny? I didn't drink, I didn't drink or do drugs. I still got Burger King on the way home. I don't know why. It's like some habits just don't go away. It wouldn't feel right if you didn't eat fast food right before bed after a night at the bar. March 1st, where philosophy begins. An important place to begin in philosophy is this: a clear perception of one's own ruling principle. Epictetus Discourses 1.26-15. Philosophy is intimidating. Where does one start? With books, with lectures, with the sale of your worldly possessions? None of these things. Epictetus is saying that one becomes a philosopher when they begin to exercise their guiding reason and start to question the emotions and beliefs, and even language that others take for granted. It's thought that an animal has self-awareness when it is able to fully recognize itself in a mirror. Perhaps we could say that we begin our journey into philosophy when we become aware of the ability to analyze our own minds. Can you start with that step today? When you do, you'll find that from it we really come alive, that we live lives, to paraphrase Socrates, that are actually worth living. See, Socrates, that's got like a negative undertone to it. Lives that are actually worth living. I don't know. I would say I've been a philosopher. For as long as I can remember. I've been thinking about stuff. I've been thinking about why I think about stuff. I've been thinking why does anything happen? Like, I've been that dude my whole life. I would say since I was a young kid, I would ponder and thought. I was also an only child. I spent a lot of time alone. So, I spent a lot of time thinking about stuff. And I just love philosophy. So that's why this kind of stuff speaks to me. And I mean, I still think about stuff. I haven't stopped thinking about, so I think I mentioned it in another video. I started reading Those of Us, or We Who Wrestle with God by Jordan Peterson. I love Jordan Peterson's books. I love a lot of especially his old lectures. I find some of the stuff now, especially the clips, it's like clickbaity type stuff. Everybody wants to hate him. And I know there's a lot of people like, oh, he's mean and he was against transgendered. And from the beginning, from what I watched, and maybe I haven't seen all the clips because I'm a pro Peterson guy. Maybe I only see the good stuff or the things I want to see. But from from the very beginning, he was like, it's not about the gender. It's about compelling me to use language. It's not telling me the bill that he got famous for disputing, which landed him on Joe Rogan, was about compelled speech. And his point, from what I remember listening to, was that it's one thing to tell me I can't say something, right? I can't say hateful things to somebody. It's another thing to compel me to say something. And that I kind of understood. But he did get really famous, and I think he sort of plays that antagonizer role, which I'm not a huge fan of. All of that to say, I picked up this book. I absolutely love Jordan Peterson, right? But I do see the problems sometimes. But I picked up his book, and he's talking about every word has a probability of what words will be associated with it. So like words that all go together. And he says it creates like a, I don't want to say lexicon because that's not the word he used, but it creates like a story around the word. It creates, words have patterns and mathematical probabilities and all this. Like the thought behind it is almost like stories and words and so words and then paragraphs and the stories all have like this continuous meaning within them. A map, you can sort of map things out by words and phrases and paragraphs and what they mean and like, and I was like, wait, what? I've been thinking about it. I don't even think I fully conceptualized it, but I don't think I've picked the book up back either since. The book is, I love Jordan Peterson. I love listening to him speak because I think he has one of the best vocabularies of a speaker I've ever heard. Like to listen to that man speak, he did a lecture series on the Bible. I was like, wow, dude, like so intelligent. But I find this book, he really went big on the vocabulary, and I find it difficult to read. And I'm not a terrible reader, but this book is like, it's a lot of big words. So to sound not to try to sound like I'm trying to sound smart, like it's a lot of big words, and you read it and you're like, but I got to keep pushing through, and hopefully like the intro was really, 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 really wordy. So, and I love it, but it takes a lot of brain power. Anyways, all that to say, I love philosophy. And if it's something that, there's so many different types and so many, there's nothing, how would I say it? So I had a teacher in grade 11. This is completely like a sidebar. A teacher grade 11 say, poetry, we're doing English class. And he said, the first rule of poetry is there is no rules of poetry. And I was like, whoa, I love that. That's my thing is poetry. And I would say the same thing for philosophy. It's really the question of why, and the question of why do we think this? And you can go in so many different ways. And I think it's a pretty broad range of ways one could be a deep thinker and into philosophy. So really you could kind of create your own philosophy, right? And that's an amazing thing to be able to do when there's no rules or no boundaries, and you can do it for yourself and only yourself. And then if you care to share, you can. If not, you just philosophize by yourself. That's it for the Daily Stoic for March 1st. I can't wait to see you guys tomorrow. You know me, I'll be right back. Day after day, we're going to try to do all 300s. I'll try to sneak in the February 29th one tomorrow maybe, because I want to try to do, I already skipped a video. I want to try to get at least 364 videos. Like I've only skipped 1 or 2 days. So anyways, that's it for me. I'm exhausted. I'm rambling. Shout out to Westlake. Shout out to Jesse T. Jesse's a bartender. I love that girl. We've known each other forever. I'd like to say I consider her one of my closer friends, even though we don't talk very often. And Westlake does the karaoke there. Shout out to him. Great job, man. Peace.